God.
Okay, we're filming.
Who has children anyways? Hi guys, it's me, Honest Mama. I'm back for my third vlog. I have a nice little surprise for you guys today. I'm going to introduce you to my lovely sister. I decided that it would be way more fun if she was on these with me because we're two peas in a pod. So here she is. Yeah! Yay! Here she is, everyone. Megan Lenhart.
What's in my hands?
So
Actually, I've been doing this way longer than you have.
Megan's been around the block. She has her own.
I've been around the vlog. You like that?
Yeah, that was good. Oh. So I'm going to finish up talking about my pregnancy, and she's gonna sit here and talk with me about it because she was there for all of it. Jump in. So I left off with the fact that I was sick for like 26 weeks, and I threw up every day, and then I lost a good 35 pounds by the time I was about 30 weeks pregnant. So after that, I had kidney stones. I had kidney stones, and that was pretty fucked up. And then we had to decide where we were going to live during the pregnancy. So I moved in with DJ at his parents' house. Everybody was super stoked about me moving in with DJ because it sounded like a really smart idea. And so I did it anyway.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yes.
Okay, I was like,
God, I was waiting for you to be like, No, they were not supportive. It was not a good choice, but I did it anyways because I wanted to force a family to be together. So
good plan.
So I did it, and then realized halfway through that I wanted to have a home birth instead of a hospital birth. I realized I didn't want to give birth at DJ's parents' house.
Right.
So instead of living there, I wanted to be living in our own place. The issue was to find a new place to live. So my dad so kindly suggested that we move into the condo that he was renovating, and so we were waiting for that, and it was due to be done at the end of November, which turned into the beginning of December, which turned into I don't know if it's going to be done before my due date. Long story short, we ended up getting into the condo 3 days before I went into labor. So I birthed amongst boxes.
You guys were actually pretty well moved in though.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of impressive.
That's what happens when you go into labor 35 hours before you give birth, because during the first day of labor, DJ unpacked the entire time.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we got in there. I went into labor 3 days later. Before all of that happened, at 27 weeks, I was watching a movie with DJ, and all of a sudden I started to have contractions that were about 10 minutes apart. So I started tracking them, and they happened for 2 hours at 10 minutes apart. They were pretty uncomfortable, so I called the midwife. She suggested that I take a lavender bath, drink some recharge, hydrate myself. So I did all of these things, and then they were still happening, so everyone was kind of sure that I was going into labor at 27 weeks. So perfect. So we went to the hospital, and for the next 5 hours, they continued on at exactly what they were, but nothing happened after that. They kind of trickled off, and I got to go home that night. So that was strike one. No, strike two after the kidney stones.
Kidney stones.
Strike three was when I was 30 weeks pregnant. I was at home folding laundry, and all of a sudden I was sitting
there and I started experiencing.
I started to feel numb on my whole left back side of my body, so I looked it up, and it said that sometimes a baby can sit on your nerves, so I just chalked it up to that and went downstairs, and it went away. And then about 20 minutes later, I started to feel like pretty drunk. I wouldn't even say drunk, I'd say
because Hannah drank a lot during her pregnancy.
I was 3 glasses of wine deep, and I was like, fuck, I'm drunk. Yeah, I was making dinner, and I started to feel really spinny and on painkillers or something. So I alerted DJ, and we both were kind of alarmed. Crazy over here. So I went into the living room, laid down, tried to gather myself, and then all of a sudden the rest of my left side went numb. So like my whole back side, front side, arms, arm, face, like
I think people know what your left side is.
I'm just saying like all the things I started to set in, like I touched my tooth and I couldn't feel it.
Who can feel their teeth?
When you tap,
Oh yeah.
I couldn't, it's like when it's numb, you know. And then I couldn't, like if I touched my face, you couldn't feel it. Then I started to lose my vision. So I was certain that I was dying. And I kept looking at DJ in the eyes, being like, this is it. Like I'm gonna wake up in the hospital, if at all. It was terrifying. So I laid there, called the midwife. Eventually she came. It passed. Eventually it subsided, and it turned out to have just been an ocular migraine. So yeah, it passed. Everything was gravy, but it was...
Please don't ever say that again. Everything was gravy.
Everything was cheese and rice.
Everything was a Thanksgiving dinner.
I have PTSD in my lifetime, and so I think it triggered that for me. And so from that point on, I had super, super intense, like, PTSD response. So I was very, like, sure that everything that happened, I was dying. I thought I was gonna have preeclampsia, which is weird because...
Yeah, you're convinced of that.
Yeah, I was like making sure I didn't swell. Every headache I had, I was certain that I needed to go to the doctor. It was weird, but it definitely was the whole rest of my pregnancy. I was worried about preeclampsia, and then I started to have this like irrational fear of just going into labor in general and the pain that I would feel. So I was like asking everyone I knew that had given a baby, given birth to a baby, what it felt like, because I just wanted to like know going into it, because I was petrified, which I think is normal for people to be nervous, but I was like, I would have panic attacks when I would think about giving birth, so it just like built up, and I was scared of my water breaking. Like I had like panic attacks thinking of like being somewhere in my water breaking and like having to go into labor.
Yikes.
So that's my pregnancy. I think that there was a lot of stress.
Did anyone know about this? That's what I want to know.
DJ, but like he thought it was normal.
So and you didn't tell Colleen or Mom?
No. I was kind of embarrassed about it, thinking that it was like really irrational and that I was being, I don't know, I just stifled it, basically.
Do you think had anyone known, they would have been more prepared for what came after?
I don't know. It's hard to know.
I know.
Because even when it happened afterwards, even when I had postpartum, nobody knew what was going on anyways.
Right.
It was still so hard to figure out, so.
She's a conundrum, this one.
So that is my whole pregnancy. So we have unexpected pregnancy, broken up with boyfriend, sick all the time, lost 35 pounds, kidney stones, early labor, so they thought 27 weeks, ocular migraine, stress of not knowing where I was going to live or have my birth.
And then just the paranoia.
Then the whole paranoia. So I think that it's pretty evident.
All of that added up together
to make a real shitstorm afterwards, which I'll get into later. If you would like to see the first half of my pregnancy story, go ahead and click here. If you want to subscribe to this channel, please do so and click there. Gross. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't give it a thumbs down or you're dead to me. If you want to check out my blog, Facebook, Instagram, Megan's Facebook and Instagram,
and my vlog,
and her vlog, click below. And then stay tuned for next time when I share my birth story, which is super awesome. And I will have some real footage.
Real live
raw footage.
Exactly.
So that's it. Thanks,
and
guys.
If you enjoyed having me on the show.
Oh yeah. If you loved having Megan here, please give me feedback and tell me that, because I'll keep this bitch around. So let me know if you liked her, because I don't, but I understand some people do.
I'm okay.
She's alright. Alright, thank you. Have a great one. Bye.
eating?
I found an apple.
What's better? Keep eating it.
It's real wet.
Oh, it's real wet.
God damn it. Yeah, everybody was... Okay. It's just not... Okay, fuck it. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Oh, so what next?